Hi, I'm Laura with Embodied Style. We talk about style and body type and tips for embodying your style on this channel, but I've been running this healing codependency and decentering work series because a huge part of embodying your appearance and the way you present in the world is what's going on the inside. And I've had this issue for the past 3 years or so I've been trying to work through, but really it goes back further than that. It has to do with putting work on a pedestal, and it's like this codependent relationship I have with employers that it's time to stop the cycle. So I think this is video number 11, where I'm just exploring some topics and really trying to get to the root of this and talk through it. And today, I'm really observing what I'm doing and where I see this manifest. And I notice now that I'm not as deep in the anxiety I was a couple of years ago, that my active listening skills are improving. I find that when you're feeling anxious, when I was feeling anxious and feeling like I was in trouble all the time and I wasn't going to meet expectations and it felt chaotic, and there's a lot of things in the environment that created that, but it also triggered this internal state in me that magnified it. And when you're feeling like, when I felt like that, I always felt like I had to prove myself. To be safe, I had to be awesome. I had to be super competent. I had to know what I was doing. I had to have strong opinions. I had to come to meetings like over prepared. And I mentioned this before. I show up to these meetings like with slides and charts and graphs, and some people are just rolling out of bed and just like talking. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? So I've noticed now this one particular meeting I tend to get, it's a weekly occurrence, I tend to get badgered a bit. So I present what I'm working on and the other people have differing opinions and poke at things. And I find myself feeling defensive and frustrated often on these calls. And I'm really trying to observe, is it that I don't like criticism? I want everyone to just go along with my work, which if you've listened to other videos about my personality type, that's probably not what it is. Maybe not liking criticism, but not that I need things to be my way. I'm much more collaborative in style, but where are these people coming from, and why do I feel the need to defend myself? And I have felt this ability emerge in me to lean back in these scenarios and not come in with the energy like, I know they're going to be a little bit combative is not the right word, because I do believe it's coming from a place where they're passionate about their work. It's just annoying that it seems to be directed at me a lot. But to not come in with this hot energy of like, I'm here to prove something and push something out. I'm feeling my energy drawing back in, and as they're talking, I'm just listening and not thinking about how I'm going to counterpoint, but also not backing down unless but being willing to hear and open my perspective, just seeing it differently, but not being bullied. And all those things together, like that's fairly nuanced for all those things to be true. I don't need to come in completely hot to feel like I'm not going to be easily bullied or persuaded, but I also don't need to be like completely fluid. I can like hold my ground but listen. It's all like I think that you don't have access to that necessarily if your nervous system is out of whack. And I've been really focused on my nervous system, and I'll call it my frequency. This is a whole other video, but it's really starting to sink in finally that frequency is everything. I didn't understand what that meant before, but now I'm developing this ability to tune in to like my heart and my chest and ask myself like, what is the frequency? What's the the wave I'm riding right now? What radio station am I dialed into? And if it's turning to one that I don't like, that doesn't feel good, how do I find and vibe with that frequency that does? And that's where my power lies. Now that's a more esoteric way of saying it. Maybe Western medicine psychologists would call it nervous system regulation, or there'd be another term for it, but I think we're talking about the same thing. So to summarize all of this kind of like leaned back, active listening energy is serving me so well. And we've had these more like dialogues and kind of debates, and I'm able to say like, they feel this way because we have different information and they don't have all the information I have, and vice versa. So let me just listen and see if I can learn something new. But in the end, we have these discussions, and then I am able to wrap it up with something like, I look forward to having this conversation with all the people in the room that need to be part of it, so we can really come to some kind of alignment. Because also we're having conversations where like other people need to be involved to really get to the heart of it. But able to like leave it on this note, like, yeah, we totally are not completely aligned on this, but I believe we'll get there, and this is fine. Like, this isn't a bad thing. And I'm saying that more for myself because I, in the past, used to see those kind of friction situations as like not good, just not good. This is like, our relationship's not going well, and it's going to be harder to work with them. But I'm finding that's just not true. And I don't know how it's landing for them. They might be like, well, she used to be so easy and now she's more difficult. Or they might be, and it's like more likely, they're like, respecting me more. I don't know. It's not for me to say or care, but it would be a helpful data point just to know that having these kinds of conversations is landing well with other people. Like, that would be great. So hopefully this one's helpful, and let me know if you have any experience with like active listening and how that has panned out for you.